I'm going to list now several goals for healing of satanic ritual abuse. And I want to stress how important it is not to have a formula on how to minister. This is because everybody is different. Your formula might help some people, but it won't help all people. But by using these goals, we have a general idea what needs to be accomplished. Then as we pray and ask the Lord to minister to the person or to bring up their memory or whatever needs to be done, we'll have an idea of how the memory is progressing and what needs to be done for the person to come into healing. Okay, the first thing is, of course, the abuse must be remembered. The emotions must be released. Demons must be removed. Lies should be exposed and truth revealed. Comfort and reassurance need to be given. Forgiveness of the perpetrators has to be done, unless it's a little child. Vows need to be renounced. Bitter judgments renounced. Curses broken. Magic surgery devices removed. Altars or parts led to safety, and the presence of Jesus invited to minister. Now I would like to elaborate on each of the goals I've listed here. Dissociative persons must have memories of their abuse in order to be healed, but each person will progress differently. Some will have a memory during the session. If their complexity of programming is extremely high, they may have more than one memory. Others will progress more slowly and won't have memories each time. If the person is experiencing serious problems with daily living, some of these current issues will need to be resolved before memory work can continue. It is not unusual to experience a break in memory work for a period of a few weeks while these current issues are being settled. One memory may be expressed through several different altars. This will be covered in another teaching. Usually, some emotions are expressed during the course of the memory, but after the memory, there must be plenty of time for more emotions to be released. It is good to encourage the person to cry, scream, and release anger. I keep a large foam pillow with a changeable pillowcase accessible. It is often helpful to place it on the person's lap and encourage them to beat on it to release anger. Some like to hold it up to their face and scream into it. When emotions seem to be blocked or the person is fighting against releasing them, I have found some gesture of compassion and love often breaks the dam. For example, a hug, if you know the person very well and they are of the same sex and you know that that would not bother them. A gentle squeeze of the shoulder or touching their hand. Abused persons often fear releasing emotions because they were severely punished for doing so in childhood. They are also afraid of losing control. They are experts in putting up defensive walls or stuffing their emotions. Love helps break down these defenses so emotions can be expressed. Demons will be attached to SRA memories. The way they are removed varies greatly from person to person. They seem to act out more in those with highly complex DID. Some persons will have a complete memory and demons will just quietly leave, as though discharging the memory released their hold on the person. At other times, the same person may need to have the demons cast out. Demons will manifest in a person at any time during the memory process. With non-SRA memories, demons are more likely to leave with no manifestations. Abuse causes persons to believe lies about themselves, life, and God. These lies must be recognized and renounced, and then replaced with truth. The lies programmed into the person by the cult will often be so strong that they can only receive the truth from Jesus Christ himself. Those who have suffered SRA see beyond the veil to a certain extent into the realm of spirit. Therefore, in addition to their ability to see and hear demons, they also have the ability to see and hear Jesus to a certain extent. If this is the survivor's first experience with Christ-centered prayer ministry, they probably don't know this. The spiritual director by faith should ask Jesus to come and minister to this person. The abused person needs to be encouraged to look for him. When they experience the presence of Jesus, Jesus will often tell them the truth through words and or pictures. It is most important that the person know the truth before the ministry session is ended. For example, it would be dangerous for someone to leave believing she caused the death of innocent children or something like that. Many of these beliefs are designed to make the person feel hopelessly evil and suicidal. The spiritual director must then reinforce the truth Jesus has revealed to the person. It is often helpful for the survivor to verbally renounce the lies and confess the truth. Even though Jesus has shown them the truth, it helps to speak it forth. At this point, demons often try to interfere and need to be cast out. After experiencing an abuse memory, the person needs to be comforted. This will take time, but it is an important part of the healing process and must not be rushed. Part of being comforted is accomplished through replacing the lies with truth. The Lord Himself will bring comfort as He reveals the truth. Also, He may do other things such as embrace them, play with the child parts for a while, give them a little gift, let them hold a baby who died in a ritual but is alive in heaven. This all takes place in a dimension of the spirit that we don't experience when we've not been so abused. We don't see this, but the survivor tells us what is happening. The spiritual helper needs to spend time letting the person talk about all that has just transpired. At this point, the person should be experiencing a feeling of peace. It is most important for the survivor to know that the spiritual helper still loves and accepts them even after hearing the horrible experience of the memory. No matter how clearly the helper understands that the survivor was an innocent victim, the abused person will often feel responsible for what happened at the ritual. Even after Jesus explains the truth, the person often feels responsible for what happened. Overcoming these feelings takes time and unconditional love from the spiritual helper. The wounded person needs to agree that, with God's help, they will forgive the perpetrators. This is most difficult, but absolutely essential. It helps to remind them that forgiveness is a decision of the will and not a feeling. Unforgiveness does nothing to punish the offenders, but it will cause the survivor to suffer the torment of bitterness and separation from God. God makes it clear in His Word that if we expect to be forgiven, we must forgive those who offend us. Sometimes it is helpful to explain that the perpetrators were like human shells, totally taken over by demons. It is all right to hate what they did, but the human instrument needs to be forgiven. God will help expedite this process if the person is willing. And of course, very small children do not have to forgive their perpetrators. They were too young at the time to know anything about that. All the other aspects of the memory must be absolved. If vows were made, they must be broken. Demons may be attached to vows. Sometimes they'll leave as the vow is renounced. At other times, the person will be unable to renounce the vow until the demon is removed. Vows seem to be guarded by demons. If magic surgery was performed, these, quote, implants, unquote, must be removed by the Lord. I have another video series out entitled Magic Surgery and the Structure of the Inner World. So this is talked about there. The alters who experience the abuse memory need to be settled in a safe place. Jesus always sovereignly handles them. I just ask Him what He wants to do with them. He may integrate them, or He may take them to a safe place inside and integrate them later. There have been articles and books written detailing how integration should be conducted by the counselor. I believe this is totally unnecessary. Jesus does it all perfectly. If you found this video to be interesting or helpful, I have many more articles on satanic ritual abuse and more videos on DID-SRA at my website, www.hispresenceonline.org. I also have a lot of articles and videos on the end times and some really deep Bible studies revealing things about the end times. The message on this video was from my book, Restoring Survivors of Satanic Ritual Abuse, Equipping and Releasing God's People for Spirit-Empowered Ministry.